Yeah, we are going to be looking at the H1 to H6 elements like I've said earlier in previous video, because these are used in defining the heading of any text in our web page. So the heading, just like I have heading here, then I have some text, or the way, just the way I have this. So it's just like an heading, something that lead a group of text that are similar. Yeah, HTML headings are titles or subtitles that you want to display on a web page. So those title and subtitle have hierarchy. That is how important they are. They are organized from H1 up down to H6, whereas H1 is the one that has the biggest size and higher precedence. And the way the browser also read this, when you are using maybe any screen reader, the browser read this by laying more emphasis on this than this subsequent one. So that's how it just work. And you can see the code here. We have h1 down to h6. Yeah, so h1 defines the most important heading, whereas h6 is the least, and browser automatically add white space around the heading, like we see in our first video, without when the text is written without putting it in an element, it is just close to the side of the browser. But when we actually put an element, it gives an automatic white space, which is known as margin. So we should copy this code here, and let's see what we can do in our code editor. So here in my code editor, I create a new file. I call it headings.html. Then in this headings.html is where I can now have my default program, where I can have my templates, and here I will just call it headings. So that's the title that will be displayed in the browser's web page tab. Then I paste these codes here in the body. I have to indent it for more readability, and I have heading 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. That's the lowest that I can have, 6. So we want to just see the difference between this and the other in our web page. So yeah, since I know that this web page are located in the same folder, which is web code there, and the only difference is the name here, where this one is index and this is headings. So I can just simply come back here, and instead of index, I can just say okay, now it is headings. So make sure that it is correctly spelled out, then I hit enter. As you can see, what is shown on the screen, I have heading 1 2 3 4. As you can see, heading 1 divided with h1 is the biggest here, and it have higher precedence over others, or higher hierarchy or level of importance when the browser is actually reading my code. So that's just about that. And you can actually see that the one is the one with the h1 here. And another way to view this is if I go back to my file structure. Let's say I minimize this also. Now back in my file structure. I can just double tap on this, or say view, that is open with, then I say okay, I want to view it with Google Chrome. It will open a new tab and view this code. So instead of me coming down here to manually edit this, then it's going to open a new one for me. So yeah, I don't think I need to change anything. I can just go back here and return this back to the index.html that I have earlier. So that is that for that. Now let's proceed with our reading. We have headings are important because search engine uses headings to index the structure and context of your web page. User often skim a page by its heading. So it depends on your heading or the level of importance your heading is having. Then the search engine will use that to look for content in your web page. So it is important to use headings to show the document structure. where h1 should be used for main heading, followed by h2, then the one that has less important, h3, and so on. So um note, use HTML headings for headings only. Don't use headings to make text big or bold, because yeah, I may need a bold text or something. Yeah, some just like I have here, it is bold, and I know that if I should use heading, it is bold. Coming back here to my first web page, I have bold text here and normal text here. So if I need something to be bold here, I don't have to use the h1 or any h or heading element. What I can just use is to use some basic styling or default or an element that actually make that text bold. So it's just about the readability for the browser. And yeah, to give bigger headings, I can use the style attribute to define the style. Then I have what I want the style attribute to be, which is the name. I want to edit the font size, then I give it 60. I'm changing it from the default to what I have here. As you can see, it is defined using h1, right? So here I just change the font size to be 60. That's why this is very, very large. That is about that. I don't have to use headings to make text big. So the exercise that you have, I would like you to pause the video and play it to see the solution. So it says use the correct HTML tag to add a heading that with the text London. So what you just do is to pause the video and do this. So the solution will be opening bracket, then the content, which is London, then close this, which is /, then the name of the tag name, which is h1. So here I can just change this to the uppercase London so I to match this. So that is about this heading that we have here. The next we're going to be looking at is paragraph. So paragraph, we have seen that before. Paragraph doesn't have any special specification. It's just to use it to write some text or block of text on the web page. And yeah, it's p tag that define or p element that define a paragraph. So a paragraph always starts on a new line. Yes, a block element on a new line, and browser automatically adds some white space like we have seen before. So I have this text here, and I also have the text here without having any enter or space in between. So this, the browser will still read it by giving each on each line because it's a block element. We will get to know the difference between block element and an inline element when we proceed with this lecture. So HTML display, you cannot be sure how HTML will be displayed. So large or small screen and resize window will create different results. With HTML, you cannot change the display by adding extra space or extra lines in your HTML code. So the browser will automatically remove any extra space and line when the page is displayed. As you can see here, if I should have a code here, P, then this is a paragraph contain a lot of line in the source code, but the browser ignores it. Here the browser ignores this writing this code on different line because this is just a block element and this is the content in it. So irrespective of whatever space that you have in between your code, the browser will ignore that. So here it's just a simple text that we have on the screen without the space or the yeah, without the space in between. So that was just about HTML displaying, the browser displaying our HTML. Then we have HTML horizontal rules, which this HR is used to define thematic break. That means if I want to create an extra space in my program that's in between the paragraph text, I will use this HR, and most often displayed as horizontal rule, and the HR element is used to separate content. So let's see an example of that. We have it to be this. It creates this horizontal rule here, which is used in separating content on our web page. Here I have it after h1 and p, h1 and p, h2 and p. I have the line there also, and I don't have it here, that's why it is not displayed here. So that is about that. And we have the line break, the one that will just go to a new line. Yes, you know, I said if we have a p element and this is nested in it, I can I can have another element nested, such as BR opening and closing. So this BR here is just to declare a new line, that's break the line, and the rest of the text should go to another line. And I also have it here again that says the rest of the text should go to another line, and that is why the paragraph text here is broken into 3 lines. But if I should just use enter or space in between, unnecessary space, then the browser will display this text on a single line. But to break text like this, we use the BR tag. So to proceed with, what we have here is the poem problem. This poem will be displayed on a single line. So my bunny lies over the ocean, my bunny lies over the sea, my bunny lies over the ocean, my bunny, oh, bring back my bunny to me. So I have this poem, which poem are displayed on different line, but here the problem is that it will be displayed on a single line. If you should view this, it's a paragraph text, but what happened here is that it is displayed on a single line, which is not what I want actually. So how can that be solved? I use the PRE element. So the HTML PRE element defines the pre-formatted text. In our P element, it is a text that will be in it, but when we use PRE opening and closing, it format it. That means the same way I have it here, I want it to be displayed that same way. As you can see, it says the text inside the PRE element is displayed in a fixed width font, usually Korea, and it's preserve both space and line breaks. So any space that I put in between this text will be preserved, and you know that's just the benefit of using PRE. So yeah, I don't have to be using the BR tag here. I don't have to be using this. So this PRE has formatted it and say, okay, I want it to be displayed this way. And as you can see, there are some indentation on this line here, and that indentation is because there are some indentation here also. So the space and the line break that I have within my PRE element will be what will be preserved for me when the browser is trying to read the paragraph text. So the exercise that you have in this paragraph here is use the correct HTML tag to add paragraph with the text hello world. So the correct HTML tag, I want to add a paragraph which is hello world. How to do that? I can just say paragraph tag is the P element, then I say okay, the text to add is what? Hello and what? World. And this. So I don't stop there. I have to close it by saying / and then my P, and that will solve the problem. So thank you, and we'll see in the next video.